Rolling.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
You'll see here the human male boasts the size of his testicles. I drive great when I'm blood. It's all about the sauce. Good, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Oh man, speaking of fucking, you want popcorn? I'll give you popcorn, kid. I'm just trying to go to Colorado and smoke some weed. Watch your fucking tots, huh? Those are my biscuits. Now, this is all alleged.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, and today we are joined by our esteemed guest, Brandon Crane.
Oh, esteemed. This is good. This is
Throw
off
it
to a
in there.
great start, guys.
Yeah, well, you got a little weight with your name. I don't know if you know this or not. You do.
Oh, with the name. Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
And he's funny
No,
too, people.
And he's a funny guy. He's a funny guy.
No one's ever said that. But it's good. It's good. Yeah, no. Hi, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Would you mind telling our audience a little bit of your background, what you're about?
Yes, I'm a Pisces. And
So he likes water.
I love water. Water's great. I prefer to fly over it than swim in it.
There you go.
No, I've been acting for almost 40 years, and I'm probably best remembered as the fifth wheel on the wagon, Doug Porter in the Wonder Years for a while, and as Ben Hanscom in Stephen King's It, the miniseries, which is coming up on its 30th anniversary next year, and I am terrified.
What of Pennywise or the passage of time?
Dying.
Dying. Oh.
Dying of old age.
Yeah.
I was going to say from Pennywise.
Being classic in
Oh,
my early 40s, that's a good one. I wasn't ready for that.
well, you started
we're-
really, really young. So I mean,
I did.
as time goes, like the stuff you did when you were like 4 months, like
Oh, 4
or
years.
something like
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you
4
started
years?
4 years.
I was
Yeah.
4 years old. Yeah,
There you go.
I was young and I needed the money.
yeah. There's a lot of cool toys coming out at that time, right?
Yeah, there's so many cool toys coming out. I mean, God, I'm trying to even remember. Of course, Star Wars was in full effect.
Mhm.
So those toys weren't cheap.
Ah,
They didn't even have, I remember the Millennium Falcon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, I was just at this convention, right? And there was a guy who had a Millennium Falcon, and it was yellow and brown, all the colors of aged plastic. Right? Probably like smoked in house, right?
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I mean, so some of the bits were yellow, some of them were brown. It smelled like nicotine, and I thought, wow, you're selling that for $500.
The worst
If
part, somebody's going to buy it.
Yeah, if I had kept, it's a patina, right? It's a
Mm.
nicotine patina.
Yeah, dude.
If I had half of my toys, I would just comfortably retire now.
There you go. Well,
Yeah, so I was four. I was four.
gonna say, how did you get into it at such a young age?
My grandfather was an actor, turned radio personality in Los Angeles. His name was Fred Crane, and he was in Gone with the Wind. So, he actually spoke the first words in Gone with the Wind, and he was
That's amazing. Wow.
he played the brother. He was the twins, right? His brother was also George Reeves, who would later go on to be Superman in the 50s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of a legacy deal. Yeah, I mean, we even had silent era. In fact, his aunt was Leatrice Joy, who made the Bob famous back in the 20s.
Oh damn.
Yeah, like Cecil B. DeMille's muse. We go way back.
It runs deep in the
Way
family.
It runs deep.
tree
We
there,
skipped
yeah.
a couple generations here and there, but long story short, I was at a party at one of my grandfather's parties,
Mhm.
and there was a lady there who thought that I would be really like cute on TV, and so she set up an audition, and it was for a Skippy peanut butter commercial, and I ended up getting that, and and I wouldn't stop for a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. I was actually watching just before you came on the call here. One of the episodes of The Wonder Years, Odd Man Out, I think it was, with where it's showing you playing Monopoly and stuff. And what's a Fred Savage? He was kind of describing you in a little bit of a mean way. He's calling you blander than buttered toast or something like that. Your character.
Well, it wasn't my wife's toast.
That's key. That's key.
Bring up the bread.
Oh, we're gonna get back to that bread.
Dude, I'm
for sure.
good at this. Believe me, I'm good at this. I just wish we had like a website already. But anyway, long story short, yeah, that was a good episode. I really enjoyed that one. In fact, here's some trivia. That was the episode that made my character stick on the show. I had auditioned 3 times. And first I was Doug Baker in a one-off episode where Kevin has to learn to play piano. And then I got another audition a couple weeks later to be a student council person. Again, I was like the utility fat kid because this character's he sat on the student council, and his biggest priority wasn't the potential walkout over the Vietnam War. It was because the vending machines weren't stocked to full capacity. I mean, the real issues.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, getting down to the knit and grit.
So then they asked to see me again, and I was like, "What is this? Like, can I just stay?"
Yeah.
And so Todd Langan, who wrote that episode, Odd Man Out, he wrote something that was cool and it would stick, which was good. I got tired of auditioning.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's probably a grueling process.
I brought home some convention crud. I'm sorry.
Oh, fun.
Oh, man.
Sorry, we got this digital barrier. We'll survive.
Yeah, we're safe.
There's not enough Purell to save you from
oh, dude, convention hands,
all
up on you, anyway. Dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about your convention? You were just overseas for it, huh?
Yeah, we just did one. It was called For the Love of Horror, and this was their second show. They did one last year, and it was just tremendous. And so this one, no exception. Like no exception. This was probably the greatest show. Like specific to the horror genre that I think we'll ever see. And no disrespect to shows in the future, right? But these guys, they went all out. It was a huge Lost Boys reunion.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they had Kiefer Sutherland there, Billy Wirth, Jason Patrick. They had Shawnee Smith. I mean, they really went all out. And they had, before you even go into the venue, they had recreated the Santa Carla sort of, Santa Cruz boardwalk, complete with, carnival rides, a carousel. And then inside, I mean, they built, for all the photo ops, they built sets for each, type of photo op.
Damn.
So they did one, with the Saw chair for Saw.
I saw that one. That was wild.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
Wow. And where was this one?
This was in Manchester.
Okay.
Manchester, UK. And we did the London Film and Comic Con in March, and that was a huge show. I mean, there were 40,000 people there. But it was broad, and it's one of those that's just too big.
And I saw you were also in Germany.
Yeah, we did Germany the following month. It was kind of a sister show to London Film and Comic Con, Weekend of Hell. That was really cool too.
And that was with the whole bunch. I was peeping your YouTube videos where you were going on panels with the whole group from
and this time was amazing because we had Jared Blankard too, who was Henry Bowers the bully. So there were 6 of us, and that's kind of a feat in and of itself. So getting us all together is, it's not easy.
I was going to say everyone's probably at different points in their lives now. And it must be hard to kind of get together.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But we love getting together. I mean, I saw Marlon for the first time in 27 years, who played Mike Hanlon, at our first convention in Atlanta last year, February. And when I saw him in the lobby, we connected immediately. And so as we started adding more losers into the fold, we realized, man, we really forged a bond.
Oh yeah,
Totally.
I could imagine,
So,
man.
I mean, they are easily, apart from my immediate family, my favorite humans.
No, I mean it's almost like in the military or something. Like you
Yeah,
only know what you've been through. Like
dude, yeah, such a
Exactly.
big act, like so young. I mean, I could
Yeah.
only imagine the pressures every one of you were feeling, and
Oh
to just
yeah.
be overwhelmed all together like that and have that in common for the rest of your life. I mean,
Yeah, and I think we carried each other. I
yeah,
mean, there were some of us that were, more, what's the word I'm looking for? There were some of us who were more like experienced. I mean, Jonathan Brandis had carried a feature by himself already.
yeah.
Seth Green was really just starting to move.
Mhm.
So as a kind of neophyte, even though I was doing television, I'd only done funny stuff. I'd never done anything with any drama.
Right.
So I was terrified, and I was, I think, really lucky to kind of have those awesome crutches to lean on. Yeah.
Mm.
The process of doing that as like a younger kid was that like doing so, because I mean I guess it's a mini series, but it seems closer to like a feature than like the Wonder Years, where that was an episodic type of thing. Were they similar in process, or was it a completely different ball game?
Well, we shot Wonder Years to film, so I mean that convention in and of itself was very film-like.
Okay.
It was, I think, the closest I'd ever known to what a feature film is like.
Okay.
So shooting it was definitely a step up. I mean, there were a lot more people hanging around, a lot more gear, a lot more equipment. I mean, you had cranes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the scope was a lot bigger. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it was shot just like a feature.
Damn.
Mm.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty
So,
intimidating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It was a big machine. It was a big machine.
Yeah,
Um,
working with legendary actors on top of that too. Like as a kid, I'm sure that's like your influences at a point like, wow, right in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, it was, I'm not often starstruck,
Mm.
but to get to meet John Ritter
Yeah,
was
dude.
great. To get to chat with him and
yeah, that's crazy because he was playing the older version of your character.
Right.
So it's like you're
Right.
basically John Ritter. I mean, come on.
right, exactly. And the funny bit though is they had, the lineups. They had the pairs in the makeup room,
Yeah.
or the makeup trailer, and you could really see some great resemblances, right? Except when you get to us. So, I mean, we didn't look anything alike. So Tommy Lee Wallace had us get together and kind of put our heads together, but really follow John's lead because he'd done this before, and come up with some things that we could do together that would help, bridge the gap.
Like mannerisms or like things like
Exactly.
that.
Mannerisms, some speech, but mostly fingernail biting, which I haven't stopped.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I struggle with that myself. as
Yeah,
well.
me
So,
too.
yeah, so I have John Ritter's legacy on my fingertips.
Oh man.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of an unfair exchange. I said this recently. He taught me how to act in a way. I mean, he taught me some pretty important lessons, and I taught him how to play Tetris. Not a fair exchange by any means, but I'm thankful. I'm
I see
totally
what you're
thankful.
saying.
Yeah.
And I'd seen something about you teaching acting as well now. Something about a school or that you're running.
No, I had I actually recently resigned, but I was
Okay.
running a musical theater company, and
Oh wow.
that was my passion.
Yeah.
It's just immensely difficult to get funding,
Mm.
and it's carrying on just fine without me. But I
Mhm.
have other fish to fry, right?
Yeah, definitely. You got all that bread now.
Right? Well, I have more buns to bake, if you will.
Callback.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason I had brought that up was just the idea that you were taught, and some of that I'm sure carried on to some of the people you were working with.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely wanted to pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, there's quite a bit of investment put in me, even after I stopped doing television for a while. I learned so much even in school afterwards. I actually wanted to be something else, but I got sucked into theater somehow. But the lessons that I
what were
learned
you
there,
gonna go for?
Anything else, honestly? Really. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I was realistic enough to know that I think I might have done my bit, right?
Yeah.
The industry
Yeah.
was starting to change. The way that casting happens was starting to change. It was all going digital, and it was all becoming very impersonal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were a lot of roles that I know I got that I wasn't fit for on the breakdown, but they saw me anyway, and I did something that maybe they hadn't thought about, and they gave me I would get the role. The odds of you being able to do that now are slim to none.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean, a casting agent opens up an email with submitted thumbnails, and the casting agent goes, yes, 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 yes.
Damn.
Those are the people I want to see. It isn't about, a blind date, if you will.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Well,
I wanted to pay it forward a little
Yeah.
bit, and so I think I helped make some art. But I think I can put that behind me now and focus on it.
Would you still take roles if some were offered? Well, I mean, you did recently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm totally game to do that again. In fact, I'm going to be doing something. It's not formally announced yet, but I'm going to be working on a project in January.
Oh, cool.
It's going to be a good project. Same horror genre.
Okay.
Fantasy/horror.
Okay, cool.
It'll shoot in January, so I'm excited about that. I feel like I'm in a place now where I can go back and go after it now that I'm stable and I know my two daughters, they can fend for themselves now. They're 7 and 13. They don't need me anymore. Right?
Give them a knife and a water bottle and kick them out.
Yeah,
out there,
they have
dude. Test
opposable
them.
thumbs. I give them a bottle opener and a couple frozen bags of peas, and I can.
Send them a little bag. Boom. Go.
Yeah, big guy.
I feel like you should be doing some open mic with these bits.
Dude, you ever? Yeah, I was gonna say, you ever thought about that? Doing a little work in the stand up?
Absolutely not, because like I said before, nobody thinks I'm funny. That's it's good.
Well, you got two nobodies.
I don't know, dude. Two nobodies seems like somebody.
Right on. Yeah, I have a problem. It's the way I communicate usually. Very dry, and sometimes it's lost on people. So that doesn't help me muster the strength to want to go after comedy or stand up. Right?
Okay,
That's the worst silence you can ever hear is after the bit, and it's just nothing.
Yeah, a comedian.
I'm not really trying to be funny. It's just the way I get down, right?
Yeah.
And so I can see who I'm talking to, who I'm dealing with. It's almost like sizing someone up. Do you get me or do you not? Okay, good. Now I know how to operate with you. You're not fun at parties. Okay.
I won't joke with you anymore because you just not getting it.
Yeah, just keep it A and B.
But before we move away from the it stuff, I wanted to ask you, you seem to have a special connection with Chuck Taylor's.
I do.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have never, here's the double negative, right? I have never not owned Chuck Taylor's since. Because a lot of the work that I did, like Wonder Years to It, they were all very, period, 50s, 60s, and, Chucks were all the rage. And I've always had Chucks since. And I love them. They're the best shoes ever. They go with everything.
They do go with everything.
Yeah. You want to class it up? Change your laces. You want to, they're the best. Plus, throw them in the washing machine. They're fine.
Right. The only time that they haven't worked out for me is in New York winters.
Oh, true. You slide and die.
And installation-wise.
That waffle grip does nothing for you in the elements.
I really like the Jack Purcells, too. Those are cool. But those are even worse in the wet because there is no tread. It's literally just flat rubber.
Yep.
So
it's like a dress shoe at that point.
It's like ice skating. But last Friday, the weather looked good, right? So we thought we'd set out around town, and I wore my Chucks. And after lunch, it just dumped on us. And I found a defect in my Chucks because my feet were getting squishy.
Uh-oh.
So like where the outer trim, whatever you call that is, there's an open seam and just enough to let water in. Oh, it's miserable. So I sat in the hotel room for about an hour with a blow dryer trying to.
And then the entire hotel room just smells like a wet shoe.
Yeah. It was good. Right. It was good. I was totally self-conscious too for the rest of the weekend because we hadn't even started the show, and those are the only shoes I brought. Yeah.
Oh no!
Excellent. Good job.
That's always fun.
If you smell something, it's you. It's not me. I promise.
Yeah. Right. Oh man. So, how long were you traveling for then? Was it like a 2-week type of thing, or?
I wish. Yeah. No, these shows, it's turn and burn, really.
Really?
Sounds good.
Some souvenirs.
I came in Thursday morning because we had press to do Friday. So we had enough time to kind of see the sights and walk around. We almost went over to Liverpool on Friday, but by the time we got there, we'd have to turn around, and we're not like that diehard.
Yeah.
So we do the show on the weekend, and then the following Monday morning, it's up early and to the airport. And that's pretty much how these go for us when we go overseas.
Wow.
And if we do them in the States, I'll come the day before, do the show. Mm-hmm. And then after the show Sunday, I'm on a plane back home.
Wow.
Yeah. So these aren't luxurious vacations.
Yeah.
They might be for someone like Kane Hodder, or someone who's like a serial conventionist.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
And there's quite a few of those, and I think that's their gig. Like,
because you're living on the road at that point.
Yeah, that's what they do. So I think they can luxuriate a bit more. But I've got a family back home. I've got work. I have my responsibilities. I can't just can't milk it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, speaking of milk, I've heard about your day job a little bit.
This should be good.
No,
nice segue, man. Speaking of milk, okay, I'll bite.
I'm the king of segues, man. No, you work in the agricultural business now, huh?
Yes, in a way. In a way, I work for a company that does commodities trading, so specifically dairy feed.
Mm-hmm.
Which
there's
is cool.
The milk connection. I wasn't out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's the milk connection. I wasn't expecting that.
I'm just so happy a guest called him on the segue.
No, well done.
Not many do, but I get away with a lot.
No, you did fine. We sell dairy feed by the truckload.
Yeah.
So, we'll deliver 100 truckloads or so a day, and all kinds of fun ingredients.
I was
living they feed these animals to get the milk that they get out of them.
Oh man! And are we getting industry secrets right now?
No, because I think people still like to drink milk.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. The milk's been getting a little bit of a hit with the whole almond juices and nut milks with boats.
For sure, and ironically enough, by conservationists.
Really?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, when farming those things are
milk per nut to bloom, and then you're washing that with water. So it's interesting. Save our water, they say, but please drink almond milk.
Seems slightly counterintuitive there. I was
it looks good on paper.
Then you don't have to think too much about it. I was living in the Central Valley for a little bit. Working near Salinas.
Salinas.
Yeah, a little bit north in California here, and coming from New York, it kind of blew me away in terms of like the scale of agriculture in California.
Yeah, I mean, it is the nation's breadbasket. I think it was pointed out not too long ago that all of the massive corn farms in the Midwest, that entire plain, obviously much larger than the Central Valley. Most of that corn is actually used to feed cattle. Okay. So most of the food that we consume in the States actually comes from, either smaller artisan outfits, like even upstate New York. But by and large, it comes from the California Valley.
Yeah. It's insane. If anyone's ever out here, get away from the cities for a little bit and actually go see that. Drive on like probably 101 or 5 going north.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you won't see anything. You'll see, no, seriously, there's not a feature to be found. You know, there's billboards and things, but if you ever like Google Map, like you can see dairies. I mean, all over there. I mean, they're unmistakable. They all look the same from the sky, but you know exactly what it is. And they're everywhere, everywhere.
We need that milk, man. We need that milk.
We do.
I get strong.
You dig that area though, because you grew up closer to like L.A., right?
I did.
So I mean, Fresno, that's like a little bit outside of there.
It is.
Comparison wise, what are you thinking? You like one over the other?
My favorite part of being on the Wonder Years was, it's fine.
I think he's under duress.
Yeah, no, it's a good place to raise a family.
True.
There's, look, when you grow up in a city, you are completely surrounded by art and culture, and it's overload, really. I mean, if you live in the middle of the city, you're within walking distance of just about anything. There's museums, there's things that open your eyes to the rest of the world, and when you're raised around that, and you step into something more suburban, and then something a little more rural. There's a hole, right? There is still a hole that I feel needs filling, which is also why I went to do that theater thing. But just because I felt like, okay, well, if it's not here, maybe I can help create some.
That's true.
So, I mean, getting to a city is usually a top priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to go. That was my thing when I came out to California originally, was like, oh, go to LA immediately. And I found myself a job in Northern California, and still like to get down to LA, but it's difficult.
It's okay. I mean, it's all, to be honest, homogenous.
True.
I mean, tract housing and, urban retreat, there's, the only reason you go downtown isn't to see an amazing show or to go to a museum. It's because you have jury duty. Other than that, or you're being sued, right? There's no reason to go downtown.
Never good news.
I think that sprawl is pretty prevalent, especially in California. I mean,
it seems like everything's pretty connected by the highways. Like you might be in a smaller town, but then hop on a highway and in 30 minutes you're somewhere that has.
Yeah, I mean, and where we are isn't bad. I mean, we're 45 minutes away from Yosemite. There's a lake 40 minutes in the other direction, and if I want to go to LA, it's a couple hours in the car. If I want to go to San Francisco, it's a couple hours in the car. It's really not. It's
almost ideal, because then you have options, and you can still pull away from the madness.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a great way to spin it.
Yeah. Spin King over here.
Well, let's spin this back to what else you're up to, and let's get to that bread, man. Now, you're becoming an entrepreneur with your wife in the bread industry. Now, what's this about?
I'm actually just the guy who's the taste tester.
Right? Hey, that's an equal part, dude. You could die from testing. You don't know.
Right. I'm giving my life for this.
For science.
For science.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you. But, we've done the entrepreneurial thing before. We still have a digital media company that we do. We've done work for companies like SanDisk and
oh wow,
okay.
Talking like graphic arts or video editing type
Cisco, stuff like that. So
cool.
mostly web stuff, a lot of intranet web things, employee portals and things like that. My wife's the designer. It was really funny actually when we started. One of our first clients, we were really just doing a logo for, and it was just as we were getting things off the ground. And he said, "By the way, can you guys do us a website?" and I'm on the call, and I peek my head around the corner, and I go to Google, and I'm like, how to build a website? What do I get? Yeah, sure.
We got it.
Yeah, and then it ended up being a very large part of our business. So yeah, I taught myself to code, and but we're kind of stepping away from that. I think because of all of these systems that are out there now, you've got your Wixes, your Squarespaces. You really don't need for the average business. You really don't need someone like us anymore. Really.
We are part of that problem. We do have a Squarespace for our, for our podcast.
No, but it makes perfect sense, and you've got other stuff to worry about. I mean, it's a good thing. I don't begrudge their existence. I mean, I did a trial run on Shopify, right, with a website because I wanted to just kind of put everything together. There's the merch, there's the the blog, and then the calendar, things like that, and it made a lot of sense. It was easy. I had it up in 5 minutes.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff is getting way more user friendly.
Yeah. It really is. And
automated.
In the beginning, you had sort of a legacy look. Before we came into play, when things started needing to become responsive. Once the I wish I had my glasses. I'd push them right up here. Things started to change. Mobile use started to become the predominant web browsing tool. So it was important that things were responsive. So I built my own framework. I really geeked out on that, actually.
It's funny how you can kind of go down those rabbit holes, especially with technology, where it's like, oh, I can just like learn how to essentially build a rocket to get myself to the moon on YouTube if I really want to.
100%. Yeah, you really could. And it was important. I think we were doing our very best, because how you went about creating something responsive, there wasn't a perfect science. And that was our thing. Like, we figured it out. But now we don't really need to do that.
On to bigger and better things.
Bigger and better things. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
So business name, we can take that one too.
Yeah, no, we will do that.
And in perspective of like, it's interesting getting out of the other business because of, the lack of like the need for it. You're coming into a business that now it's the opposite. Mainstream stuff is becoming minimal, and people want, that artisan. When it comes to food, they want that like homemade, quality ingredient type deal where like love was put into that, what they're eating,
But this is one of those things where you can taste the love, you can taste the effort.
Yeah.
And it isn't as much about people who really want to know where their food comes from. I know that's definitely happening. But at the same time too, if you're
significantly healthier as well, it is.
Yeah. See, my wife gave me the talking points. Now, she's right. When you eat that kind of food, it is better for you. It's not.
Oh yeah.
She's talking about milling her own flour, and
wow. Oh wow.
I mean, going full at it. I mean, pretty soon, when I take the photos of
grain
her
growing out back pretty soon.
No, I want to put one of those cool, hipster beards on her.
Flannel.
Hey, Halloween is this week.
Flannel,
let's do it.
And I want to shoot. I want to shoot 120p. I want to shoot her slow mo.
I see the commercial in my head right now. You're describing it.
Oh my god.
So, but seriously, like if you ever watch like any Peter McKinnon videos, Peter McKinnon he's a YouTuber, he's a creator, and he'll go to any lengths whatsoever to glamorize making coffee in the most absurd way. Put the pod in the machine and push go. But he's got a point. Like, there are almost no lengths that you can go to create a top quality product.
It's very true.
As risible as it seems for him to do what he's doing, like I see it, especially with Amy's bread. It's super good, and it's healthy. It's good for you.
Now, where can people eventually get this bread? You're working on getting a way and ship it out and do that kind of stuff?
Oh, you finally caught up. I'm sorry. It sounded like you were having a stroke.
Say it again.
No, I was saying, is
Everything
there going to be is there going to be a point where you guys have a website up and like people, if I wanted, I could order some of this up to San Francisco here?
In about 5 minutes. Let me get a Squarespace.
Google how to make it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, we are. She's actually in the big experimentation process right now.
Cool.
So she's
That's the fun
trying
part.
to figure out. Yeah, she's making some amazing things. Actually, you should get that. You should get that loaf.
I'll get it.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Okay.
This is the thing I'm talking
Loaf
about.
action.
Yeah. So she does. I mean, she's tried to master things like the perfect laminate for making. For making croissants. I mean, she's really. Like she dove head first into this, but this is
any professional training at all, or
dude,
this
look at
is
that.
kind of teaching your own? Wow, that looks
Look at
good.
this.
I'm an artist.
Yeah,
This is what you do.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, she is an artist. But look at the ear on this, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
this is
Cocoa
Damn.
espresso.
so it's cocoa espresso sourdough.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that's what gives it that darker kind of tint. Wow.
Yeah, and
Mm.
they say color is flavor, and this is chock full of it. I mean, this is the kind of stuff she's doing. So she's experimenting right now, trying to figure out, what she can do, and then
Right.
we'll have to work out how we can do this en masse, because right now we're literally just doing it in our oven at home.
But
And
hey, that's how it starts, though.
Yeah, dude, that's how it starts.
It's not
Yeah.
sustainable. So happy to keep you guys abreast of that. And
Totally.
it travels well. We'll ship you out some.
Nice.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
definitely.
Looking
Yeah,
forward
she did
to
one. She did one that was like apple and sage, and I mean,
Mhm.
just
Oh man, that's cool.
I mean,
You mentioned a bunch of
possibilities
sourdoughs. Is it mainly sourdough?
are mostly sourdough.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
So every night, instead of
Everything I do is sourdough because sourdough is a natural leaven.
right,
Naturally
it's
What was that?
naturally leavened. So everything she does has a foundation with sourdough, a sourdough foundation.
Okay, cool.
So, I mean, it's super healthy, but instead of putting the kids to bed, well, not instead of. That's terrible.
We go make bread.
Yeah, no, we'll put the kids to bed, but it's like we'll feed the dogs and then we'll feed the starter. Every night,
Mhm.
keeping this thing alive, and it's been alive for a good half a year now. So
Oh wow.
it's developed.
And that's just the
Unbelievable.
culture essentially that you take
Yeah.
to make another loaf.
Right.
Cool.
Mm.
Right.
I did a little bit of like brewing.
Oh yeah, same
A
kind of
number
deal.
of years ago. So yeah, I have a mild idea of what you're talking about with the bread.
Same kind of thing. Absolutely. It's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and she's definitely an artist. Her Instagram right now is Amy Davis Crane.
Okay.
And she's got some photos on there. She's a fledgling Instagrammer.
Nice.
It's a good portfolio for now.
Keep that bread. That's perfect too. People love the
Oh,
pictures.
dude.
Pictures.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, there's some really good pictures on there too. So
Nice.
and it's good. So I mean, the art, the photography, the stuff that we're used to doing, we can actually apply to this as well. And so we're looking forward to it. It'd be a good adventure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
On to the next adventure.
Exactly.
Now, we do have to touch on your part in the new It film
Yes.
that came out. That and is also you had mentioned is coming out on Blu-ray and DVD and all that fairly soon.
Yeah, fairly soon. In a couple of weeks, it'll be on digital. For digital download, iTunes and all that. And then early December, it'll be out on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what was when you got the call for that? How did it all go essentially?
Yeah, it was interesting. When the trailer dropped, I reached out to Andy Muschietti, the director, on Facebook, just to say, "Hey, dude, for what it's worth, blah blah blah. I'm excited for you. Like, I'm. Keep in mind, it's been 4 years. Actually, it's been longer than that. There are 4 different iterations that were supposed to happen. Cary Fukunaga. There's been a lot of touch and go. I mean, they've been threatening to remake this for a decade,
Right.
and it's just never really worked out. So once that trailer dropped, I mean, it was real. I mean, this is really happening. So I reached out to Andy on Facebook for whatever it was worth. He wasn't a big deal yet. So I thought maybe he'd at least see it and just offer my congratulations. So he responded back. And he's like, Brandon, it's you. Great to meet you. And we just kind of kept touch throughout the rest of his process until the movie released. And when it came out, I sent him a message again after I saw it that evening. And I said, man, you crushed this beyond my wildest expectations. I mean, it was
nice.
It was beautiful to me.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, hey, you should do a cameo in chapter 2. Really? And then I realized, wait a minute, this guy's not verified. I'm getting trolled.
Oh no.
I totally thought I was getting trolled. So I reached over to Instagram where I knew he was verified, and I said, hey, okay, this is potentially really embarrassing, right? But am I getting trolled over here on Facebook? Nothing. I was left on red for like an hour. And then he said, no, I'm the troll. I was like, I honestly, when you see someone's work that is as amazing as his work is, I mean, being this master of movement and, composite over CGI. I mean, it's amazing, right? Yeah. So if this guy told me he wanted me to wear a chicken suit, I would. I totally would. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Right.
But it's great. So, I mean, we forged a friendship over that. And then it would be about a year after we had that conversation. We talked about how we were going to do it. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be Ricky Lee in a bar, or are we going to have to come up with something else? And for the sake of time, they had to come up with a completely different introduction for Ben.
Okay.
So, yeah, they settled on the boardroom scene and a kind of fake out. The way it was originally written, or the way it was shot, was really more of a fake out. Mm-hmm. They had to cut that also for time. I mean, I think the first cut was almost 4 hours. So
wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so I managed to survive. I'm still in there. But it was just kind of another tip of the hat. I mean, he's very deliberate about his cameos. He's not. He's never going to do the thing like like the new Ghostbusters movie did. It was too much.
Yeah. You have to be very subtle, but enough that people are going to get it when it comes to the cameos. Because if you're too over it's like, or if you're going to go over the top, you got to do it like Anchorman 2 did with like just way too many cameos.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you buy into it, but I mean, he's very deliberate, and I appreciate that. I mean, you have Peter Bogdanovich, you have Stephen King, you have Andy himself, and if you look really hard, you've got Barbara Muschietti, and then you got me, and it's an amazing company to be in.
That's awesome.
I couldn't be more honored.
It's good to see them doing nods, and actually, like, I think one of the biggest pet peeves as like someone who watches films is when they replace an actor, which I know that'll happen with like either age or the person wasn't available or what. There's so many things that could go wrong. So when it actually works out, it's so much more satisfying to see.
I agree. I mean, I didn't expect that Stephen King cameo. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Right, that wasn't a cameo. That was a legitimate role. I just took a bite of this bread, and
I was gonna say, you're chowing down on some bread now.
It's corn. I mean, look at this.
Look at that bread, people.
Wow.
I want a slice right now, man.
I know, but you can't have it. It's mine.
Dude, how dare you? That is rude. That is rude. Oh, man. Now you're just being extra insultive.
So good. So good.
It's perfect advertising.
With the butter and all that. It's porn.
Have you constructed a name idea for the company or anything like that yet?
Porn. Go porn bread.
Porn bread. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly going to be appealing to people. They're going to be wondering what exactly goes into that bread. Or where it's cooked. Because, I mean, if you're cooking it where I'm thinking you're cooking it, baking it rather, I don't know if I want any of that.
No. We've already done the other buns in the oven.
There you go.
Okay, that's all right. We're separating.
No, kind of touching back to being out of the city.
Yeah.
And the nature of what it is. We actually settled on the name Culture. So we'll create our own culture. But because of But because of the fermentation process, it's we thought culture would be perfect, and it's all natural, and it lends itself to other things too, like cheese or
perfect
or beer,
wines, anything fermented, beers. Yeah, so
there you go.
If you're smart, you're going to develop something that has legs, and I think this is it. We'll start with the bread, and the bread may be it, but we'll keep the door open for other options too.
Nice. You have a whole cornucopia of fucking products at that point.
But I hope cheese is the next logical step, because I am a slut.
Dude, you're not kidding, dude. We're a whole gang of sluts for cheese in here.
I am a slut for cheese.
Dude.
Dude.
Are you a hard guy, soft guy?
That's not the first question I've ever heard with cheese, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, interesting, right? I'd say medium. Oh. No, I like the hard cheeses too.
Straight down the middle.
I'm a pan cheese connoisseur. I mean, we were just doing we just had an interesting night. I think I took a picture on my Instagram. And it was just kind of like a tapas night, but we had these great Spanish cheeses and Iberico,
nice.
Manchegos. I love those. But
you got an all-time favorite?
Nothing makes me happier than a ridiculously sharp cheddar.
Dude, hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I'll even have gas station cheddar.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No.
Damn, dude.
No, Cracker Barrel makes one right now that's extra sharp, and there's like individual pieces, and I will get that because it is good. It is not like.
I thought next to the taquitos there was like a pile of cubed cheese, and you're like, "Don't mind if I do."
Yeah, don't mind if I do. My wife used to bully me about sushi because I love sushi. And bear in mind, I love good sushi, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not lost on me.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Bachelor life.
when I was a bachelor, for sure, I had the hankering, but didn't necessarily want to drop $60.
Yeah,
and I'd go into 7-Eleven and I grab myself one of those spicy California rolls. It's not really sushi, but
it'll do.
Crab with a
it'll
little
do.
It's fine.
It works.
You put enough crap on it, it's fine.
A little imagination, boom.
The thing that gets me with old sushi or bad sushi is when the rice is hard. That's just like, nope, can't. Done with it.
No, but there's a time and a place for that. I mean, if you're going to sit down and have the experience, you don't want that. You expect it to be right. If it's 2:00 in the morning and you're at 7-Eleven after the last call, and you want sushi, that's your only option.
Yeah, it really is.
It is.
You take what you can get. Yeah.
The advice that I heard with fish and sushi and all that, it was in one of the Anthony Bourdain books. He was saying, fish markets usually don't sell their fish after like Thursday, essentially. Like no one's going to buy the Friday fish. They're closed on the weekends. You're not getting fresh fish till Monday. So any fish between Thursday and Sunday is like a no-go.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Did that freeze again?
No, not you.
Oh, he froze.
Brandon was like, I'm done. I'm having bread.
No.
He's like, I'm out of here. I'm eating this bread.
No, you're good. I'm sorry. You had another stroke. No, it just came up to me and it said, hey, your connection is unstable.
Oh, okay. We'll have it get on the correct medication so that it's safe.
No, and it's not you, it's me. I'm about 8 feet away from my router.
Yeah.
Right? I've got a 200 megabyte connection. But because our homes are very close together, there's a lot of interference.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Really?
That was that's on
no
me.
worries.
You were saying Anthony Bourdain sushi.
Yeah. It's something about not buying fish after Thursday and before Sunday or before Monday.
Where does that apply to? That's where I was confused. I was like, wait.
Because like the way fish market, like I guess on Monday.
They don't catch during the week?
Monday they get the freshest shit. And then by Thursday, it's all the leftovers that no one wanted. And then by Saturday, you got your nice gas station sushi.
Yeah. Or if you're lucky.
I mean, I guess the bright side or the silver lining on that one is if you can handle that stomach wise, you can probably handle anything. Fucking spiciest wings, ripest cheese.
No, yeah, I've conditioned my stomach to be able to handle just about anything.
Are you a spicy food guy too, or?
I'm a very spicy food guy.
Yeah.
I love Thai food. Like I love.
Oh yeah.
I love like legit Thai food. I just found this great. Actually, we were in Bakersfield of all places.
Okay.
And there was a Thai restaurant. I forget the name. It was memorable. I just forget the name. And it was like the spiciest tom kha soup I've ever had. It was like, yeah, it would be worth going back there. You know, there's the Michelin guide. They have the Michelin stars. You know, the star denotes that this is the degree of the star denotes the extent to which you should travel to go see, to enjoy it. So if it's a 3 Michelin star, it means seriously drop your shit and go, like now at all cost, get in there and eat.
Well, it is going to be all costs if it's a 3 Michelin star place.
Yeah, well, there's that too. You know, 1 star is, hey, it's worth a detour.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and second means if you're in the city, you must eat, you know, that kind of thing. They all have meaning. So, I mean, if I had my own guidebook, I'd definitely give it a star.
Give it 7-Eleven sushi, at least 1.
No, that would never make it.
Okay.
Unless I had an appendix for, you know, after when everything else is closed.
The after hours.
It's like Pepsi, you know, when there's no Coke.
Okay.
That's why there needs to be after hour stars. So you understand, like after this time, this is all right. This is a 1.5, you know,
right.
Give you an idea.
So when's the Southern California guidebook for 7-Eleven sushi coming?
Yeah, well, working on it. I'm looking for collaborators actually.
Oh man.
Yeah, and an illustrator.
There you go.
It's kind of surprising that convention of sushi packaging. There's a company that is actually local who have parlayed that business into a legitimate sushi stop. And they're actually quite good.
Really?
Yeah, the fish is good.
Huh.
Tuna, the right color. It's not, you know, beet red because it's full of dyes.
Yeah.
Which one must be careful of. You know, they do their best to source things like toro and otoro and you know, super.
Yeah, I've heard about
fat fish, which is really
like swapping out like garbage fish, essentially, and calling it something else.
Oh yeah, no. This place is legit. It's good. And so whenever I see their stuff, I'll eat it, even if it's prepackaged, because I know they take care of it. I've kind of sussed them up. I've sussed them out.
Sushi and cheese connoisseur, among many other things.
Dude, I mean, I'm pretty much a connoisseur of. I'm not a connoisseur. I'm a consumer. If it's there and it's edible, I'll eat it.
There you go.
Oh, you can eat this? Great. Nice.
There's nothing that you've come up against that you're like, nah, I would never try that.
Not so far. No, not so far. Although, okay, look, my friend Jimmy, who was like the visual effects producer for It Chapter 2, he's been in Southeast Asia for a while now. I think since almost right after the premiere, so well over a month. And when he got to Bangkok, he ate a spider on a stick.
Oh God!
Right up.
And he's like, honestly, I can't recommend this. But since I just did this, here's scorpion.
Ooh.
I may pass, right?
Yeah.
I may pass.
Yeah, I don't know if I do scorpion.
But I'm totally happy eating organs and things like that. That's all good because usually they're prepared in a very interesting way.
True.
And I'm always down with street food, but
bugs.
No bugs. Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty happy just kind of staying at my level on the food chain, right? I don't need to eat like a grouse or you know.
I don't need to eat with a songbird.
I don't need to eat the things that my food eats.
Nope.
I'm happy to let them be the intermediary.
There you go.
I think that's a good lesson to live by.
Yeah, let them eat that, and I'll eat them.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
it's nature.
There you go.
secondhand vegetarian too if you do that, you know. I mean, because a lot of the things are just eating grass, dude. So you're at least getting.
Yeah, if you think of it, you should be getting your appropriate, vegetable allotment,
dude. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're getting the nutrients that you would be getting if you were eating the vegetables. Let them eat the vegetables, and I'll just drink your blood.
They're doing the grazing.
I'm not a nutritionist, but that sounds correct.
Yeah. No, one of the happiest moments was the hotel we were staying at this past weekend. They did have blood sausage.
Ooh.
Black pudding.
I don't know if I could do that. What's it like?
Oh no, you can, because you would think it would be more like congealed, sort of gelatinous, because it's a lot. But it's mixed in with oats and other things and other bits.
I'd imagine it's just more rich kind of tasting.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It doesn't, but you don't get the iron. You don't get the iron you would from like popping chicken hearts or something like that, or even a steak that's way too rare. Like,
right?
Yeah, you don't get that. Or like if you cut yourself and it's all iron. No, you don't get that. It's actually cool. It's lovely. It's good.
There you go. Well, we've covered.
And now the English have even figured out how to deep fry that. So they're well on their way.
Fried blood sausage.
Yeah, they're well on their way to the American diet. So
yeah, dude,
I'm happy for them.
There'll be a mass obesity very soon.
As you know, even our salads are fried. So so it's good to see these guys
air fried. It's healthier.
Jump on the train.
Well, we've covered quite the number of topics in this interview today. Is there anything that we missed or anything that you want to plug in terms of conversations, things coming up, more bread?
Other than all of that, I live a pretty uninteresting life. Yeah, I think we've covered all the good bits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, as this burgeoning bread business keeps going on, we'll have to have you back on and talk more about it.
Absolutely. In fact, nothing would be more fun than sitting down, maybe even have my wife along, and we can just sit and chow down on all this bread.
You bastard! Right in front of us.
Right in front of us. Yep.
And just kind of give your audience. We could do like an ASMR video.
Oh, there you go.
I've got some really good mics too, so we can just kind of chunk
get
in
that crunch.
And just go to the crunch and see how long your audience can go before.
Oh, dude, that transfers very well to audio only, especially. There and you listen into it deep up on the volume and just
100%. You can't tell me you haven't seen that lady just eating the pickles. Right?
Oh God, dude, that's a tremendous.
Well, I hate pickles. Just first off, so I can't do that. Video.
Double-edged sword for him.
Watch the video, and you'll like pickles.
I'm starting to get an idea of how your mind works here, Brandon.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place.
Yeah, man, very interesting.
Glad we got to vacation there for an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good, but now shove off, go home. We're done. No, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate
totally.
it.
Pleasure's all ours, man. And how can people find you on Insta and Facebook and all that?
Instagram and Facebook, it's Brandon Crane TV, because some schmuck already took Brandon Crane. And I have to say, I met a Brandon Crane when I was at London Film and Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
Nicest guy ever. And he's like, I just wanted to meet
Highlander that shit.
I wanted to meet the guy who ruined my Google.
Oh, no.
Man.
Dude, don't be a narcissist. Don't Google yourself.
Dude.
That.
Delete that, dude. Get that off there.
But
Everybody knows.
It was cool. It was cool. I signed his wallet, I let him believe for a minute that he was the real Brandon Crane.
There you go.
That's nice. That's nice of you, man.
No, he was great. And in fact, I was a member of a group on Facebook for a little while. That was like all Brandon Cranes.
Really?
Like we were all united. And then as soon as I joined, like it just shut down. Like I haven't heard from it since.
Damn.
I just want to hang out with other Brandon Cranes.
They all went dark on you.
Yeah, they're like, oh God.
Not the one. Not the one.
God, this guy.
They were planning. In my eyes, they were planning it like an attack on you or something. If they're like keeping you out, they're like, that's why that group of Brandon Cranes, they were like, we got to get rid of the one.
Infiltrated.
Right. Yeah.
Well, man. Definitely everyone go follow him, see what he's up to. Make sure you stay on top of this bread game he's got going on.
I did manage to get Brandon Crane on Twitter, so
Nice.
I'm not giving that one up. But everything else is Brandon Crane TV. So Tumblr, Instagram, Facebook, it's all there.
Sweet.
Nice.
And then I've got BrandonCrane.com. There's merch.
Ooh.
You go to
It's a very nice website, by the way.
Yeah, they've got some merch. That's what's left over from my framework that I built.
Okay.
So I'm still putting it to use years later. But
There you go.
yeah, so there's merch. There's tees. There's die cut stickers. I discontinued the slouchy. This is my favorite. That was cool. Yeah, slouchy. It's a very comfortable like bedtime shirt for the ladies. I think I only ended up selling one. So I was like, yeah, it's not going to work. But yeah, check it out. And obviously we'll get you up there and there's it's got a good place for some updates and things.
Nice.
Awesome. We'll definitely put a link to it up on all of our stuff too.
Sweet.
And hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. And until next time, that's it.
There you go.
All right.
We smoking America. We passing America. Yeah. I'm mapping America. I'm second America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America.